Welcome back to the Legal Eagle, and today we're going to discuss freedom of expression rights and the new hate speech law in Ireland. So we're just going to have a discussion. We're going to explain to you what it is. As I said, it's not legal advice, it's just for educational purpose, so you can know what the law is. You can challenge it if you want to, or else just give you some basic information of what it means. So I suppose the hate speech law was first set out under the Prohibition of Incitement to Hatred Act 1989, and it sets out the law on hate speech. And it says hate speech, it says it's an offence to communicate threatening, abuse or insulting material that is intended to likely or stir up hatred against a group of people because of their race, colour, nationality, religion, ethnic, national origins, membership of the travelling community or sexual orientation. And the communication can be spoken in written, broadcast or part of recording. So I suppose that'll cover the new social media laws. So the new law does say under the 2004 Act, what is hate speech? In Irish law, hate speech is any communication that is made in public within the intention of likelihood of being threatening or abusive and likely to stir up hatred against people because of their race, colour, nationality, religion, ethnic or national origin, membership of the travelling community or sexual orientation. The communication can be spoken, published or broadcast. Communications made in private residence that cannot be seen or heard by people outside the residence is not included in this law. So I suppose that was under the 1989 Act, and under the new 2004 Act, the 1989 Act was amended, and there is a new Criminal Justice Hate Offences Bill. It commenced in the 31st of December 2024, and the Act sets out a number of new offences. Now, these are more serious versions of existing offences where the person committing the crime is motivated by hatred or demonstrate hatred because of a person's race, colour, nationality, religion, sexual characteristics, sexual orientation, disability. These are known as hate crimes. They have bigger penalties than the same crimes that are not motivated by hatred. So I suppose crimes that are hate crimes, when hate is proved, include damaging property, threatening, abusive or insulting behaviour in a public place, assault causing harm or serious harm, and harassment. Now, I suppose this does serve to be an aggravating factor if a hate crime is carried out. So I suppose if a person is subject to violence and you call them names under any of these 9 categories, well then you may be subject to higher penalties in a criminal offence. Now I suppose the debate is, does this curtail our right to freedom of expression? Well, it does, I suppose, because our right to freedom of expression is a right that was extended back as far as I know, but we'll say 1916. Our heroes of 1916 put freedom of expression into the Constitution for a reason. We have that right to freedom of expression. Now I'll give you an example. I went to Tubernault Well, it's a holy well in Sligo. The Irish used to have to go there to pray in secret. They were not allowed to practice their religious beliefs because they were persecuted by penal laws when the English ruled the land. Now we were curtailed our right to freedom of expression. So I think the heroes of 1916 would have, when they were drawing up this constitution, they would have put that in for specific reasons, that we are entitled to a right to freedom of expression, because after all, our heroes of 19 fought for our freedom of expression. We were denied this right for going back years and years and persecuted for displaying our rights. So now I don't think is a great time to be eroding them rights. So I do agree that the freedom of expression should be still maintained. And also I see the author J.K. Rowling, they brought a new hate speech bill into law in Scotland, and she was persecuted for saying that she doesn't agree with some of these rights of freedom of expression. And I think that is also wrong. She had threats against her. And also Elon Musk, he is an advocate for freedom of expression. As you know, I firmly agree with him. He's right. We should be able to display what we want on X with certain parameters, of course. We should not be allowed to incite hatred. Hatred has no place in modern society. So you can express your opinion, that's well and good. But when it comes to hatred and it causes harm to a person, well, then I suppose the law says that it should be curtailed to an extent. But is the bill going too far? Maybe. But I suppose some of the legislation was struck down. It didn't. Some of the bill, I should say, was struck down. It didn't get through the Dáil, most of it. So hopefully it doesn't erode our rights too much. But anyway, any amendment to the Constitution, it's up to you or us or me. The people of Ireland have the right to vote. The Constitution cannot be amended without a vote from the Irish people. So ultimately, we should have the right to decide what laws goes into place. We should have the determination to see, are these laws proper? Do we agree with them? A vote should be put to the people, and that's what I firmly believe, and that is my opinion only on this matter, and I do agree with that. Now, the hate legislation bill, as I said, I'll explain it there now. Now, the new Criminal Justice Hate Offences Act 2004, which was originally the 1989 Act. Yes, it was the 1989 Act, and it was the Prohibition of Incitement to Hatred Act 1989, which set out an offence to stir up hatred against a group of people because of the 9 categories of orientation, race, colour, sex, disability, and so forth. But now the new act also, well, it's still the same. These are more serious offences now, I suppose, of existing offences where the person commits the crime. So it elevates the seriousness of a crime if you commit a crime against a person because of their race, their colour, their characteristics, sexual orientation or disability. These are what is known now under the new bill again as hate crimes, but they were already enacted before. So it's just elevated them up to a higher level of crime, and it can be prosecuted under the Criminal Justice Act. So crimes which are hate crimes, when hatred is proved, it could elevate, say you damage property, well, it can elevate it if it's a hate crime and you damaged it because the person was of a certain colour, religion. It can be taken into account by the judge as an aggravating factor, and you can get more severe penalties. Also, threatening or abusive or insulting behaviour in a public place. If you threaten or abuse people and you use racial slurs, or giving an example, it can elevate it to a higher category of crime again. Also assault causing harm, harassment, all these are in the new bill, and they can attract more severe punishments, as I said, for hate crimes if you're brought to court under the Criminal Justice Act. You know, to agree with any of these laws, but I suppose it is a curtailment somewhat on the freedom of expression, in my opinion. But it could have been worse. I suppose some of the bill was struck down. So there was legislators there in the Dáil that didn't agree. Some did agree. So it's up to you, I suppose. I leave it to yourself. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I'm giving you just an educational background history. So there you go. That is the new Criminal Justice Hate Offences Act 2024. Do you agree with us? Do you not? Well, I'll leave it up to you. You can leave all your comments in the comment section below. But as I said, freedom of expression, I think it's an important right for the Irish Constitution, the Irish people. It's enshrined in Article 46.1 of the Irish Constitution. It's also enshrined in Article 10, protection of human rights of fundamental freedoms. So therefore, I suppose we have the right to freedom of expression. We have a right as the people to any amendment to the Constitution. So there is big debate going on, I suppose, with social media companies. Elon Musk is in a battle with Australia, Brazil over kind of these rights, and he has said that he will fund any challenges to the Irish people to any legislation that's brought in for these hate crimes. So there you go. I suppose that is the law on hate crimes. Do we agree? Don't you agree? I hope you enjoyed this education lesson on hate crimes in Ireland and what it means. Does it curtail our freedom of expression? I just outlined the law for you. I'll let you decide. So do subscribe for more good videos. Take care.